All right, guys, it's time to make some gravy. Normally with my roasting pan, I would put this over the heat to kind of break up some of these stuck on bits, but I'm not going to put a baking sheet over the heat. I'm just going to dislodge them with my wooden spatula here. So I have what's called a gravy separator or a fat separator. You kind of need one of these because we're going to use both the fat and the juices, but at different times. So I like these glass ones that you have a little strainer on the top, but you can also use a fine mesh sieve. But you can see how the spout pulls from the bottom because that's where the juices are going to be, and the fat rises to the top. Okay, so that looks good. And allow this to start to separate, and you'll see the fat again accumulating on the top. So what I'm going to do is take some flour. I'm actually using some Jovial einkorn flour. It's E-I-N-K-O-R-N, and that's just an ancient wheat. So it's basically like an all-purpose white flour. You can use arrowroot. I don't really love cornstarch, so I don't use it, but you can also use a good gluten-free all-purpose flour if you have one. So I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to transfer my juices to this, and then whatever is left is the fat. So I'm going to use a little bit of the fat in here. There we go. It's about 1/4 cup. And then I'll start to heat this and whisk. And you're going to whisk this. You don't want any lumps. Okay? And you want this to actually kind of bubble a little bit. It's going to become a lighter color, almost like a blonde color. So we want to cook out that flavor of the raw flour. And this is what's called a roux. So a roux is going to help thicken your gravy. And once it just bubbles for about 2 or 3 minutes, then you can start adding in your strained pan drippings. That's going to give you the most flavor. And then you add in your stock. And the stock will just depend on how thick or thin you want your gravy. So I'm giving you an estimate of how much to use, but you might use a little bit more, you might use a little bit less. And then according to how much you like things salted, you can adjust your salt accordingly as well. But if your turkey was well seasoned, you probably won't need that much salt in your gravy. Okay, that is starting to become bubbly and like more blonde color. This is some homemade turkey stock. I'm gonna add a little of this in here. And then I'll just keep this on reserve in case I need to thin this out. Okay, so that can just stay warm and simmer while I carve the turkey.